All right, it is Friday, February 13th at 10:56 p.m. Today's journal entry is going to be about picking a major. Picking a major and sticking with a major. If you've seen in my previous videos, I've been in school now. I went back to school in my 30s and just post-COVID. It was 2021 when I started going back to school, and I originally went back to school because I'm a crypto YouTuber. Johnny Switchblade was gaining a lot of traction or whatever during the crypto boom, and then I invested in this project, and it just took me out. This guy ended up being a scam. It felt like a really good project. I was making a lot of money from it, and then they just pulled the rug on us, changed up everything they promised us, and pretty much just screwed all their investors over. So it kind of took me out of the game. Got a little depressed and stuff, so I didn't want to invest for a while. My head was all messed up, so stopped recording. I stopped recording for a while, and before that, right before that, I had decided that I was going to go to school to be a developer. I was going to go to school to be a developer and to learn how to create my own tokens, and yeah, and just see where it went from there. This was when being a developer was just, they couldn't get enough developers. I mean, people were coming out of school and getting, 6-7 figure incomes right out of school, and it was wild. It was a wild time. And so I went back to school 2021, and I started my general ed. In that time until now, I have switched my major like a million times. Like, I am so indecisive with what I'm gonna do, and wanting to be done with school, or wanting a high-paying career, or wanting to do something that feels interesting, or just wanting a career that's going to outlive, or at least be in the game for a while AI is taking over a lot of stuff. So, man, I've been just so indecisive, super indecisive. It's like, I started off a computer science major, only took general ed to start, and for computer science you need to start off in trig in order to actually start taking computer science classes. And I've been out of school for years. I've been out of school for a long time. So jumping back into math, that just wasn't going to happen. So I told myself I'd start my general ed, slowly get back into math and work my way up. And I would just go from there. And so I tried taking lower level math in the short semesters, the short periods, winter session and summer session, and it was just like, it was too much. Like, I wasn't ready for that in such a short semester. I thought I was, but it had been so long that I was just so oblivious. I was so lost, and like, these little math concepts for me were just like, I didn't remember any of them. Like, I literally didn't remember any of them. And so trying to get back in, I was just like, I was literally playing catch up with every literally every lesson. I would have to go back and relearn, a lower level concept or whatever. And I mean, it wasn't hard, but it was super time consuming. And when you're in the shorter semesters, the winter session and the summer session, trying to do that was ridiculous. Like, it was insane. Not only would I have a ton of homework to do, but I would have to go back and relearn concepts in almost every new problem that we would get. I would have to go back and relearn a previous concept before I could move forward. And this took forever. So I dropped math multiple times because I was trying to do exactly what I just described, and it just wasn't working. And I just continued on my general ed here and there. I would take a class here and there, and it was just like, my history, my English, my science, my biology, and all that. Like, I've just been taking those classes little by little, and I'm basically done with my general ed now. Like, I'm pretty much at a solid point where my general ed is basically finished. I did this thing where I would also try to go to school full-time multiple times, and living the life that I live with all my responsibilities as an older student, I just couldn't do it because my life is just so, I got a lot going on. I have a lot going on. I was running a business. I was trying to do side businesses as well. I was part of the PTA. I was a board member for the PTA, my kid's school. I would do activities, snack bars, stuff like that. And I was just doing so much. I was selling, I was doing online sales with one of my websites. I was doing digital marketing for a couple companies at the time. And I was just spreading myself so thin, and, trying to learn programming on this, on my spare time before I got to the math level that I needed to be. So I was just super spread thin and trying to fit in a full-time load. As much as I wanted to do it, I couldn't do it. I kept having to drop multiple classes, drop down to one or two classes, and tack on more W's onto my transcript. So it was brutal. It was freaking brutal. And it's one of the reasons why I've been so indecisive with picking a major and sticking to a major, because throughout this entire journey, I feel like all these years of putting in school, one class, two classes here and there, I felt like I've been in school forever. I have been in school forever. And because 4 or 5 years is a long freaking time to be in college. I should have graduated. I should have been starting grad school by now. But, everybody's journey is different. And I've been coming to accept that lately. I've been coming to accept that my journey is not the same as everybody else's. And I'm just not in the position to finish fast like a fresh out of high school student. So it's something I've just had to suck up and just move forward with. And so that's kind of why I've been bouncing back and forth from anthropology and cybersecurity. So you're wondering why I say cybersecurity when I started off at computer science. I've realized that there's two routes to becoming a programmer, and one route is the computer science route, where you learn more math than anything, and then you start programming afterward. And then you have IT, where you could learn strictly programming, or cybersecurity, or help desk, or any one of those categories or whatever. But computer science is a STEM major. IT is considered a business major because you're dealing with business software mainly. So, but you still program. You can still program without all those crazy math concepts, and you learn to strictly program. Now, cybersecurity has always been something that I've been super interested in, and that was one of the options in the IT role. So I was looking into IT after computer science, and there's a programming pathway, there's a mobile and web design programming pathway, and a cybersecurity pathway that I was interested in those three. I did find out that the programming pathway that they had is kind of a little out of date, and you're kind of using programming languages that you wouldn't necessarily use on a regular basis. The mobile and web programming, like mobile apps and web apps programming, program that they have is more up to date, and it uses more languages that you would actually use today. And then there's cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a whole nother beast. You still learn some programming, but it's mostly programming in Python for cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, man, I've always been interested in cybersecurity ever since I was a little kid. From the first time I watched Hackers a long time ago. And then with AOL, I had a buddy that was into HTML, and he was designing websites when we were super young. We were like in junior high, and he was already designing websites with HTML. Shout out to SQ257 if you're still out there, bro. Wow, you're probably doing amazing by now. But yeah, he started teaching me HTML back then, and I always told myself like it'd be super cool to get into programming and into cybersecurity eventually. And then I kind of just put that in the back of my head and then just left it there forever. Getting back into school and getting back into programming and IT and stuff like that, I was just like, man, maybe I should just go the IT route. And once I saw the cybersecurity classes that were offered, I was like, holy crap, this seems really freaking awesome. And it seems like right up my alley. It seems like stuff I already do, because you got to learn a lot of networking and just general IT stuff. So I was like, I do this stuff already on a regular basis at home and in the office or whatever. So why not just get a degree in it? Why not get a degree in it and then, work for the city or something and make a six-figure income right with an associate's degree. That was my plan. I was going to, continue or start the cybersecurity route, and that was going to be my plan. Again, I took a cybersecurity class, the entry-level cybersecurity class, or it's a IT class that you have to take. It's like the gateway class to the rest of the classes. And I also did more general ed, and by that point I was just so burnt out and so over community college that I just wanted to leave. Wanted to graduate already. My wife graduated. She graduated community college. She graduated with her bachelor's at a university recently, and now she's in law school. And I just feel like, holy crap, what am I doing? Like, she's done all this and I'm still in community college. I'm like, holy crap, like, do I really want to be here any longer? So I started exploring more majors, and I noticed I took an anthropology class for general ed, archaeology specifically, and it was also something that I've been interested in for years. And I thought it was super cool. Archaeology is super cool. I think it's really awesome. I love going to museums. I love looking at artifacts. Going down to the jungle and excavating, to me, just sounds super awesome and super amazing, and it's outdoors, and it's just something that I would love to do. However, I'm not going to get into that yet, but it was something that I would love to do. So I was like, you know what, archaeology sounds cool. I never knew what anthropology was, the study of culture and stuff like that. So I was like, wow, let me look more into this. And so after my archaeology class, my anthropology 3, I was just like, well, let me look more into this. And I started looking into anthro, and you only need 4 anthro classes. There's only 4 anthro classes that are required for the actual degree, besides a geology class, lab, and 1 extra social science class. So I was like, dude, I have like most of this stuff done already. Like, why don't I just graduate as an anthropology major and get a degree in archaeology? And why don't I do that? I mean, even if I don't become an archaeologist. I can always just become a teacher, a professor, go to grad school and stuff like that. So I was like, man, this is like the easy way out. And I was like, I could even go to law school after that with with a bachelor's in anthropology. I was like, man, this really felt like the easy way out. And I was like, I talked to a counselor, and with my GPA, I had a 3.8 at the time. It's now 3.7, but anyway, I talked to a counselor, a transfer counselor, and he was like, take these classes next semester, pass these classes, and I dare you to come back and tell me that you don't get accepted to UCLA's anthropology program. He was actually a admissions counselor from UCLA prior to coming to our community college. So I was just like, holy crap, I can go to my dream school and I can graduate quickly and I can get out of there and I would be accepted right away. Like, holy crap, this seems amazing. This sounds just awesome. Like, holy crap, why I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna go to UCLA and be an anthropology major. So I would switch my whole thing up. I switched from cybersecurity to anthropology, and then I started taking more anthropology classes, and which also worked as general ed classes. And so I switched up my whole major once again, because I did it prior a couple times already, to couple different things. So I switched everything over, and then I was just like, all right, I'm doing this. And then as I continued on, I started getting this feeling in the back of my head that, like, I don't really like book work. I really don't like book work. I'm more of like a hands-on type of person, or like I'm just a hands-on type of person where I like to be physically doing something with my hands, whether it be, taking computers apart, putting them back together, running network lines. I used to be in construction. We used to do full remodels. I do a lot of mechanic work on the side for myself and for family members. Like, I love working with my hands. Like, it's something that is just so interesting to me, and it keeps me focused. I do have ADD, and I was just recently, can't say diagnosed, but kind of like the soft diagnosis. And I thought I had ADHD, and I went and started seeing a therapist and stuff, and she believes that I have just regular ADD, not ADHD. I haven't been officially diagnosed from the psych because I got a form to fill out and I never filled it out, and my the ADD must have kicked in, and I procrastinated and never did it. So I don't have the official diagnosis of ADD, but the signs are there, and my therapist believes that it's definitely there. So so I lost my train of thought there. Sorry. Again, there goes that ADD again, just kicking in or whatever. Like, the signs are there. The signs are definitely there. But I like working with my hands, and it keeps my attention. It keeps my attention long enough to where I can complete a task and then move on to the next task. It keeps me very project oriented. I'm the type of person that gets so consumed by a project and then likes to go, do that project, and then complete it and then move on to another project. So book work for me is like, it's one of those things where it's like, I just get so tired of it. I get so tired of doing book work, and I start falling asleep. I start getting drowsy and stuff while I'm reading. Unless it's super interesting, I'm gonna get drowsy and tired and like start falling asleep or whatever. So I told myself, I was like, I don't want to do this for another 4 years or another 2 years at a university. I was like, I'm done with general ed. I'm just so over it. I'm done with book work. I'm so over it. So I'm at a point where I keep going back and forth between graduating quickly and being in a major where that's actually going to keep me engaged and keep me focused. So I finally made a choice. after going back and forth a million times, I finally made a choice, and I'm not going to graduate fast. I'm not going to graduate with a major that I'm potentially going to regret. I think it would be an awesome major. Don't get me wrong. I think it'd be really cool to be out there, excavating, Mayan artifacts or anything, something, stuff like that. But right now, with the way my life is going, I need flexibility. And being in a archaeologist role, I'm not going to have flexibility. I'm going to have to be out in the field. I'm going to have to be gone. I'm going to have to work in the office as well. So it's a lot more in-person work. Whereas cybersecurity, there is a lot of potential, or just IT in general, there's a lot of potential to work remotely. So I finally decided yesterday that I'm going to continue on with what I started. I'm going to continue with cybersecurity and just IT. And if it takes me a whole nother year at a community college, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to stick with this until I'm done with it, and just be done with it. I'm just going to be done with it. And like I said, I can get a job, a really good paying job, with just an associate's degree. One of the reasons that was discouraging me from IT in general is that most Cal States and universities, they basically require you to just switch over to computer science, take a bunch of math, and just be a computer scientist. There's not really very many IT programs. I mean, there's a couple, but then you also have to take a ton of business classes as well, because it falls under a business major. And I felt like I was just going to be stuck even longer with those business classes and the IT classes. So that was a major discourager. But now I've come to the realization that I just don't care anymore. Don't care how long I'm in community college. I just want to get this done. I want to be in the tech industry, and I want a rewarding career that's going to pay me what I'm worth right away, and not in the long run, because anthropology doesn't pay well to begin with. You kind of have to go to grad school to start getting paid well. You have to be at the doctorate level to even get paid remotely well. And you have to find a company that's going to pay you that much. So IT, you can get paid a six-figure income starting out with an associate's degree, and it's more hands-on. So I'm like, just stick to what you know. Stick to what you're comfortable doing. You've been doing this for a long time. You know what it's like, and you know it's hands-on and it's fun for you, and it's going to keep your attention. So that's where I'm at. That is where I'm at, and that's what I'm going to go. That's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to stick with. I'm kind of making this video for accountability, so that I can look back at this video and say, no, you made a decision and you chose. This is what you're going to do. This is what's going to give you the most flexibility, and you just got to stick to it. So that's what I'm going to do, guys. I will keep you guys posted. Well, I'll keep myself posted, because this is my journal for me. I will keep myself updated and keep documenting my journey for me, and I'll look back at this later on, and I don't know. We'll see how I react then. But I'll see you in the next entry point.